you have to do a lot of things you're not good at. You have to just be good enough at some things and read and copy stuff. But I love that. That was kind of what drove me crazy about engineering. Was it was the same thing every day for 10 years at a time, where a startup every day is another emergency. It's another disaster.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Good afternoon. We are connecting from London to United States, and we have a very inspiring tech entrepreneur. His name is DC Palter, and he's also an author. And we're gonna have a fantastic time. So everybody, pay attention, take pen and paper, because what you're about to discover out of this talk will be amazing. So, Palter, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me on, Harry. I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking about how to be a successful entrepreneur and build your business. So just to give you a little bit of context, I started off myself as kind of your generic engineer, worked for big companies, got bored doing engineering, went back, got my MBA so I could switch over to the business side. And then I joined a startup, and I joined an IT startup. And then my life changed. So after that, the last 25 years of all about building startups, investing in startups, mentoring startups, and really helping entrepreneurs succeed.
But then DC, why make you, I mean, you're an engineer, I have an engineering background.
Yes.
Let's be honest, us as engineers, we get very good money for the work we do, and these companies provide us a very comfortable life. So what happened? What happened through your mind that you decided, oh, you know what? I'm gonna drop my comfortable life. I'm gonna drop
Yes.
this all so much money that these people are paying me. And guess what? I'm going to decide to be part of a tech startup, which is one of the most riskiest thing in the world.
Yes.
With that, people don't even understand the risk that they're getting in before. So what happened? Why you decide to do that?
Yeah, well, I think the answer you're looking for is that I'm kind of crazy, and I think most entrepreneurs are crazy. Yes.
Did anybody told you around your environment that this is?
Well, my parents told me, what the hell are you doing? So first, to set it up, first I had a job working in the aerospace industry in California. And I said, I'm really bored here. It's the same thing every day, working, trying to optimize a particular engine design. And I thought, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life, and I don't want to be doing the rest of my life. So I quit my job and I moved to Japan. Why not? Yeah, I just said, out of the blue, I said, I'm moving to Japan. I got a job teaching English. That got me there, paid the bills. And then I found an engineering job there, working at a steel company doing pollution reduction. And that was a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
But, you know, at some point, I kind of came back to the same thing. Do I really want to be working at a steel company doing pollution reduction for the next 40 years of my career and gradually moving up? And I said, no, I want to be building the businesses. So I said, you know, I started applying for jobs, and everyone said, well, but you're not a business person, right? We're looking for business people. So I went back, I got the MBA. It's really kind of a qualification so that now you can say, yeah, I'm an engineer, but I'm the business person. And that got me the chance to join a startup as the business person and focus on so my specialty was marketing of technology. So it was the same technology. It was all about learning the technology, but it was about the marketing of the technology and the sales of the technology instead of designing it myself. But that was a lot more fun. I would talk to the customers. I would talk to the engineers. I would think about what the product needed to be instead of somebody saying, here's requirements, sit at a computer for the next 20 years and get it working. And that's a lot more interesting. And so the great thing about startups, kind of changing gears a little bit, was you get to do everything. If you're at a small startup, so some people hate that. If you hate that, don't join a startup. You have to do everything from, you know, making the coffee yourself because there's no assistance, to answering the phones yourself, to, you know, I was the person who had to do the support calls because we didn't have a support person yet. And, you know, the engineers had to sleep once in a while. So support call came in, guess who answered it? It was me.
Yes,
I got to do the marketing. I got to do the sales. I got to do the accounting. I got to do the website. And as you get bigger, you hire people to do those things. But in the meantime, you got to do all of it. And, some people hate that, right? If you have to do a lot of things you're not good at. You have to just be good enough at some things and read and copy stuff. But I love that. That was kind of what drove me crazy about engineering. It was the same thing every day for 10 years at a time, where a startup every day is another emergency. It's another disaster. It's another crazy thing going on. It's a complete change of your whole business strategy every week. And I love that. I really love the ability to kind of be involved in everything and do everything and figure out everything and make a difference yourself instead of just getting a salary.
It's about the personality and about, the,
Oh, yeah.
for sure, guarantee in the startup space, you're going to be everything by board. Yeah, because
that's right.
Always a
you
lot
got to do
as an engineer, right? Sometimes we end up in the entrepreneur space and we feel really good at this because somehow we have engineering background, right? So we go to university, we spend 5 years in that university, in that place, and for 5 years the only thing that we hear is the word problems, mathematical problems, physical problems, chemical problems. So we spend 5 years listening problem and problem and problem and solving problems. They are theoretical problems, they are not real life problems. They are some theoretical problems. But somehow after 5 years, we develop a certain ability to solve problems, right?
That's right.
We have been trained. They are not real problems, but after now when we are as an entrepreneur, right? And again, you want to be in a space that is a lot of problems that you want to solve because this is what is in DNA. You won't be studying.
That's right.
Is having in a place that there are a lot of problems that you can solve, right? And so I get it. You were getting bored at work. Same happened to me when I was a software developer. I was doing software development in Java and Oracle in Spain, right? And again, you get bored in the job because, there is so much that is very confined what you can do. And and for us, I think the engineers were not worried for that. We need a large amount of problem to solve because this is what we learn, this is what we have fun. However, saying that,
it's a lot of work.
Startup space, oh my God, especially tech, especially in US, well, all over the world, is like one of the spaces that highest failure rate in the world. Yeah, it's very lucrative when things work out very good, and
that's right.
And people, all the richest people in the world, they are in the tech space. Let's face it. The top 10, maybe 2 or 3 are non tech companies or tech entrepreneurs, but the rest, they are, right. So, what was your journey as part of a team of a tech startup? What was the first impression when you arrived there and you said, wow, this is difficult, this is not easy, and we think I don't have any traction, nobody trusts me, we have 3 people, we need to sell this product, and when this big client come here, they're gonna find 3 people, and what's gonna happen, or 5 people. And so how you navigate this, and where do you find the strength, the support, and how you scale your first
so I cheated.
That's a very good way. You find a
and this is the best way to get into the startup world if you can do it. Don't start by starting your own startup. There's just so much you don't know when you don't have the infrastructure. And you take some classes in entrepreneurship, but really the real world is different. So I joined a startup that already had 7 employees. They already had customers. They didn't have a business person. So I joined as the business person. But we already had money coming in. We already had an income, so I didn't have to worry about working for 2 years with no salary or go fundraise or things like that. We had customers. It was mostly consulting, so it wasn't the final product, but we could pay the bills, and it was good. It wasn't a huge salary, but I didn't have to worry about paying the bills from the beginning. We already had customers who were telling us what they wanted. So I call that, you can call it cheating, but my recommendation, we'll probably get to this, is instead of starting with your own startup, start as employee number 5 or employee number 10, where it's already funded, there's already some
100%.
customers, and then kind of learn how the startup world works, build up your team, build up your kind of infrastructure. And then once that company exits, hopefully, then you're ready to move on to your own startup. And that's what I did. And all I did at that point, it was rinse and repeat, right? I already knew the business. I already knew what the customers wanted. They told me before. The previous company, it wasn't what they built, but people kept saying, we need this, we need this. So I was like, okay, well, let's go grab a team and let's go build that. And I already had the accounting, I already had the lawyers, I already had the infrastructure. Everything was kind of made it a lot easier than starting from scratch. So
100%.
But
100%.
I meet a lot of founders, especially very young founders, and a lot of them are engineers. I think engineers make the best entrepreneurs because they hear the problems from the customers, and they say, well, customers want this, but my company won't make this because we do this, but I know there's a need for this. Let me figure out how to make it. And then they'll work on it, on the weekends, and maybe a couple people put it together, and then they're ready to start showing it to customers, and then they're ready to go off on their own. But the problem that the engineers have, and I see this all the time when I'm doing mentoring, is they think it's all about the product. And they'll give me a pitch deck that's 20 pages about how wonderful the product is. They'll give me a product demo. They'll give me all the features of the product. They'll give me the next generation version of the product. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That should be 2 slides. Now give me the other 10 slides of what is the business. Who are the customers? How are we going to fund this? How are we going to do the marketing? What's the IP? How are you going to keep the competition out? How big are you going to get? And then, how does an investor make money out of it? And that's what the pitch is. Pitch is about how's an investor going to make money, not how wonderful your product is. So I often have to tell, especially a lot of the things we were talking earlier. I do a lot of things in the climate tech space, which tend to be batteries or water purification or plastics recycling. And a lot of it is PhD research or professors' research at university. They've developed some great new technology, but their presentation is like a technical conference presentation. I have to say, no. It's not about, your wonderful invention. It's about the business. And so the best is usually then pairing the engineer who can build the product with the business person who can build the business side of that. And it has to be somebody reasonably technical, can understand the customers and understand the business, understand the technology. But I think a lot of the engineers don't really understand that. They kind of have this idea of, we build the product and customers will come. And it doesn't work that way, right? No, you build the product and then you go build a sales and marketing team to go find the customers and pull them in, dragging and, kicking and screaming, because sales is tougher than building the product, to be honest.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.